Recently, large language models LLMs have made significant progress, especially for English. These advances enable these LLMs to understand and execute complex instructions with unprecedented accuracy and fluency. However, despite this progress, significant gaps remain in the development of adjustments to Chinese directives. The unique linguistic characteristics and cultural depth of the Chinese language pose challenges to the instruction adaptation task. The existing datasets either originate from English-centric LLMs or are not suitable to match the interaction patterns of real-world Chinese users. Peking University, Hong Kong University of Science and Technology, University of Waterloo, and University of Manchester published a papers, COIG-CQIA quality is all you need for Chinese instruction fine-tuning. This most interesting dataset comes from retarded bar, surpassing elite communities such as Yihu and Xiao and becoming the best training dataset in Chinese. There are some problems with Chinese datasets for large language models. They are either derived from English or the content is unrealistic. The profoundness of Chinese culture and well-known reasons led to a lack of high-quality training data. But after the researchers used the training data, the set of the retarded bar to train the AI, they were surprised to find that it was far ahead in all tests, far exceeding other online communities. The paper states that this is because many designs have logical traps that even pose challenges to humans. I didn't believe it at first until I read these comments. Let's pick a few and send them to the AI to try. The researchers collected a total of 375 examples from 22 sources on the Chinese internet and communities, covering fields ranging from general knowledge to STEM to humanities. The figure represents various CQIA task types, including information extraction, question and answer, code generation, etc., length, distribution of instruction, and responses. Note that the instruction is the concatenation of original instructions and inputs in our dataset. Most common root verbs inner circle and top direct noun objects outer circle in the CQIA dataset. On the smaller Yi6B model, the pure retarded version ranked third in total score, which is not too outstanding. It seems that the little model has not yet grasped the essence of mental retardation. When it comes to Yi3I4B, the performance of the mentally retarded version is unparalleled. The retarded bar is not really mentally retarded, and those communities that flaunt how elite their users are, especially shy Confucius, have low IQs. Who in the family would understand? Adding some glitch templates and emojis makes the amount of information carried by these contents very limited, and the retarded bar is not. Content rules originality, short content, and fewer questions. The amount of information carried by the content is greatly increased. Retarded bars usually represent high-quality jokes. Many contents accurately grasp some polysemy, ambiguity, or logical loopholes in the discourse, resulting in seemingly absurd statements. Many highly liked posts are also nonsensical with concise words, puns, and even logical traps. These characteristics are very helpful for the model to learn new knowledge. The Turing test, originally called the imitation game by Alan Turing in 1950, is a test of a machine's ability to exhibit intelligent behavior equivalent to, or indistinguishable from, that of a human. Turing proposed that a human evaluator would judge natural language conversations between a human and a machine designed to generate human-like responses. The evaluator would be aware that one of the two partners in conversation was machine, and all participants would be separated from one another. The conversation would be limited to a text-only channel, such as a computer keyboard and screen, so the result would not depend on the machine's ability to render words as speech. If the evaluator could not reliably tell the machine from the human, the machine would be said to have passed the test. The test results would not depend on the machine's ability to give correct answers to questions, only on how closely its answers resemble those a human would give. Since the Turing test is a test of indistinguishably in performance capacity, the verbal version generalizes naturally to all of human performance capacity, verbal as well as nonverbal robotic. The test was introduced by Turing in his 1950 paper Computing Machinery and Intelligence while working at the University of Manchester. It opens with the words, "I propose to consider the question, can machines think?" Because thinking is difficult to define, Turing chooses to replace the question by another, which is closely related to it and is expressed in relatively unambiguous words. Turing describes the new form of the problem in terms of a three-person game called the imitation game, in which an interrogator asks questions of a man and a woman in another room in order to determine the correct sex of the two players. Turing's new question is, are there imaginable digital computers which would do well in the imitation game? This question, Turing believed, was one that could actually be answered. In the remainder of the paper, he argued against all the major objections to the proposition that machines can think.
In conclusion, I think the questions from retard bar has complete the corner cases of the training datasets. Unlike Xiao and Zhihu, this kind of test contain too much grammatical modifier. On the other hand, the text from retard bar is very short and very high efficiency.